Okay. So moving through March, I believe we're going to be talking about moving out of your comfort zone and possibly into team sports, according to Sarah Whalen.
Possibly.
But before we get into that, I know that Sandra's moving out of her comfort zone, but just in her coaching, and she's launching something very shortly. What are you launching, Sandra? Tell us about it.
I have a group program starting April the 9th for 6 lovely ladies who are ready to break free from dieting and make peace with their plate. So that will be held over Zoom calls, one in a group session with homework after each one. And I have a super awesome super bonus for spring to help you guys all change your health and get ready for that beautiful summer weather that's coming our way. So on my 90-day one-on-one program, I'm offering a free 14-day detox with 2 one-hour calls, one at the beginning and one at the end. So pretty much you've got me for 12 full hours.
Great.
And Sarah, how about you give us a brief introduction to our beta program of Energetically You?
Yeah, so Beth and I are also kicking off a group coaching program on April 4th. It is the beta program, which we will be using to do live coaching, guided meditations, lots of tips and tricks for people to use and implement, weekly homework, meeting in Zoom. And, you know, Beth and I are into the embraining energetic side of things to really finding out what's blocking you from getting deeply connected to yourself and just removing those blocks so that we can get, you know, eating put back in order and use it for what it's meant to be used for, which is nourishment and energy, and just really, you know, peeling away the layers that'll get us back to that very basic need for sustenance, which is what food is intended for. So anyway, in our beta program, we're going to be working with a maximum of 20 people for 8 weeks, ending the end of May. And from there, we'll fine tune and then kick off our actual group coaching program on July 1st or whatever day in that first week of July is. So yeah, we are super excited about this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you get Beth and I both involved in the calls doing you know, live coaching and demonstrations and everything that you need for support going through our program.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I know, Mike, you are opening your shop. Now, I know it's not diet and exercise, but it's still exciting. So tell us a bit about the Metalworks.
I'm building my forge to be able to heat metal to move it, basically. And I'm hoping by the end of the week to be able to make some fire. So
Yay!
It's been a bit of welding and planning, and I have all my pieces, so it's just assembly required.
That's awesome. Boy, talk about moving out of our comfort zone. All 4 of us are doing that.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
I gotta say that I watched, mostly listened to Beth, your presentation on embraining, and you were right. I'm really kind of interested in digging a little deeper into that now.
Yeah.
And my NLP course is going a little slower than I wanted, but that is really getting interesting. And I think once I wrap that up, because what I'm trying to do too is put things together to be able to go fully immerse into coaching probably this winter.
Yeah.
So there's I don't want to just have it with food, because we all know it goes way deeper than that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I would say that food is the symptom, but we really want to go into the cause. And so, you know, we start with the food because that's what we can see. It's in the external world.
Yep.
And it just tells us that, you know, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So the way you're doing your food and eating is the way you're doing everything.
There's
Just
a
A sidebar, Mike, I'm actually running an MBIT coach certification program at the end of May. So if you're interested in that, let me
okay.
know.
Right on. Right on. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
there's a meme that I saw a little while ago, and it really rings true. I'll just going to paraphrase here. You know, you can have your diet intact, you can have your supplements in line, you can have your regimen down, but if you can't deal with the crap that's going on in your head, your potential is not even going to be reached. So that's the angle I really want to look at, is not just trying to get somebody fit and change their eating habits. It's going to be all around, because I know what it's done for me. So if I can share that with somebody and have one success, man, it's all been worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It really is digging deep into what's really going on below the surface.
Yep.
But we don't touch that. And as a past chronic dieter, and I really did a bunch of journaling on this, and I know that I started dieting when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this going, so what was the issue? What was being sad? What wasn't going right?
Self-esteem. I mean, who knows? Yeah.
Comparison to
Whatever.
my sister, my aunt, being told that my thighs were large. Yeah, well, I guess when you ice skate and you horseback ride,
Imagine that.
and you bike.
Yeah. Imagine that.
There's some muscle
Absolutely.
going on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, I wasn't explained the difference between muscular and fat.
Right.
And so if you were muscular in your legs at all, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm fat-legged. No, you're not. You're fit. And for me now, you know, that is, it's like, how I'm not looking at my BMI, but the question is, how fit am I? How energetic am I? How lively am I? Am I able to do everything I want to do?
Yeah.
You know, a friend of mine was like, how fit do you want to be? And I was like, I want to be fit enough to do 4 days skiing without thinking that my legs are going to fall off. And she's like, downhill skiing? And I'm like, yeah. So how many squats do I need to do daily to be fit enough?
I'm going to say more than 20.
I'm going to say more than 20. Yeah. But if you ask me how fit do I want to be, that's how fit I want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. It's about being able to enjoy that level of activity, not because, oh my goodness, I want to be fit. No, but because I want to have fun.
Yeah.
And knowing it's not going to come in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You have to work
Absolutely.
It takes time and it takes persistence, and it's
Yeah.
tough, but if you can keep that end goal in sight.
Yeah. I can remember being in Moscow in autumn, and there was all these people on short skis with wheels and poles. And basically they were getting fit for cross-country skiing. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is so cool. Because of course, because Moscow is basically so flat in so many areas, they were just getting ready to ski everywhere. You know, it's not for downhill skiing. This is literally for cross country skiing, you know? And I was like, oh my gosh, but I've never seen that anywhere else.
Which is an individual sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. One of the things we're talking about today, thank you for mentioning that. We're talking about getting out of our comfort zones. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today was the difference between individual sports and team sports. And sometimes the fun is to be had in team sports. Now, that's not for everybody. But for some of us, it's a lot more fun to not do exercise, but to just go out and play. Now,
Yeah.
for me, that would be paintball or something of that nature.
Yeah, for me, it would be volleyball or even tennis, doubles, something like that. It's not really a team sport so much, but yeah.
Cool.
How about for you, Mike?
Now, none. In my younger days, it was football, track, and hockey. But as an adult, I don't team sport.
So if you were to step out of your comfort zone and go participate in a group sport, what would your choice be?
One that is easily accessible from where you are right now, where you're living, that's within your community.
Nope. I've tried. Now this, you know, I've done all this stuff as a kid. You know, basketball. It just doesn't. I tried tennis to learn it a long time ago. Not much. I'm gonna be the spoiler.
What about something like ultimate frisbee or dodgeball or
Dodgeball would be so fun. I would play that. I would totally go do that.
I'm trying to think a little outside the box about what might be fun.
That would be fun. If there was a dodgeball league, I'd probably check it out.
Awesome. Well, let's find one for you.
Oh, I know which one was the funniest I saw of team sports. Muggle Quidditch.
Oh, I would so play that.
I would too. I
Oh
would
my
sign
God.
up for Muggle Quidditch.
Yeah. Yeah. I would try just about any team sport that I thought I could do, many of which I could not do at this point. But I really love team sports. And, you know, my son is an athlete, so I've been in and around stadiums and arenas and basketball courts for decades. So, you know, I love it. I love team sports. I love the camaraderie.
Cool.
What about you, Sandra?
She was sitting there quietly in the
Right.
corner, hoping
Nobody's gonna ask me.
In my younger days, we did a lot of volleyball down at the beach. Actually, not really a beach, along the river, right?
Awesome.
And curling, we did a lot of curling. And during the summer, we did baseball.
Curling is another sport I would love to do.
So I would go back if I could. Maybe at some point, I would love to go back into curling. I loved it.
Yeah,
Cool.
what a fun sport.
I know in New Zealand in summertime, you know, you go to a barbecue or a park or whatever, and the game of the day is always cricket, because you just have one person batting and everybody else is fielding. And then it isn't a team sport. I mean, you can have two teams, but it's not necessarily a team sport. You can have one person batting and everybody else fielding. And sorry, I've got a 5-year-old. Just a minute.
That's another one. I've never been around cricket, but I think that
Oh.
one would be really fun to try too. Yeah,
Yeah.
horseshoes.
Looks interesting.
We could always go do sports fishing, which is a team. If we really did salmon
Now,
fishing
I
or
would do
sturgeon
that.
fishing.
I would try fly fishing, which is an individual sport, but I think that would be fun as long as I didn't have to touch any bait or catch any fish.
Nice.
I would just
Everything else
go,
is good.
go fly fishing with sinkers or something rather than because I wouldn't want to hurt a fish or catch one or touch one or anything like that. So
Well, the fly sits on top of on the water, so you don't need to bait it really.
well, I wouldn't want to have a hook on it though either. I just would need a little bit of weight just to get it out there. But
Oh, we could fix that.
You'd have to cast blanks.
Yep.
I could do that. I would love it because that's the part of it that I would love is just that rhythmic motion and the serenity of being out there in the river and all of that I would absolutely love. I just wouldn't want to catch a fish.
Oh, I don't have a problem with catching and throwing back. I understand that it might be slightly painful for the fish. I don't really have a problem with that. Sorry.
Each his own. I still love you, Beth.
Actually, I don't really have a problem with taking it home and eating it either, but yeah. Yeah, and I am one to go out at 3 o'clock in the morning to go fishing, and with the right company. With the right company, yeah.
I would sit in the boat with you and just be quiet to
Yeah,
enjoy your
absolutely.
company.
Yeah, and I think that is the beauty of it. It is just literally that time of silence. But you know, you could actually do it without the fishing.
You could.
I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how about golf? Or is that just a good way to ruin a nice walk?
I think so.
Actually, it's actually really nice. It's really good because when you get out on that course, and I don't golf anymore since the shoulder injury, but when you get out on the course, you forget about everything else because your focus is on
Sure.
the white ball.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Getting it through.
Right. And follow through on each one. Yeah. Okay.
So a couple of
Yeah.
years ago, there was an introduction, I think kind of around the country, but my son and I went and played foot golf. And you actually go on a golf course, but you kick a soccer ball and then the hole is like this big. You kick the ball into the hole. Way more fun than regular golf.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, there are foot golf
I can
courses
imagine
all
that.
around.
Cool.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the beautiful thing about golf is that it's kind of a leisurely walk. Yeah, I mean, or it might be somewhat brisk, but it's not, you know, and you are playing 3 or 4 together. So there's that conversation, that camaraderie, that social part of it, as well as getting a really good walk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, so any other ideas of how do you get out of your comfort zone? Now, I know I've done parachuting, I've done scuba diving, I've done rappelling. I am not one for rock climbing. I am scared of heights, and I know that 2 of the 3 things I just mentioned doing do not sound like I'm scared of heights. And I will say that on my way up in the airplane the first time, my instructions to the instructor were, if I freeze in the door, you just kick my ass out. I have not done all this training and all this work to stay in the plane.
Nice.
Yeah. And I will say, when that parachute opens and you know that you're totally safe as long as you don't land in a tree. But you know, when you're actually with parachute open, you feel like you can fly. There's no sound other than the wind flapping in that sail above you. And you could go anywhere. It is the most sense of freedom I've ever had in my life, except for snorkeling. Snorkeling is that exact same sense of freedom because one, you're not dependent on equipment, so you're not worried about time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, at least not in the tropics, because you're not ever going to get hypothermia. You do have to worry about the sunburn on your back. But you can just get lost in the present moment and exploring.
Yeah, I love snorkeling.
Yeah.
There is a team sport that I would try. And it's the guys in the squirrel suits. Jumping off the cliff.
Oh,
That would be fun. I would do that too. I think I would do just about anything. I would try it.
I've always looked at that and thought, where do I do that? How do I sign up for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Little tough in, North and South Dakota, but if there's a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and I think, this whole thing of moving through March, at least for a lot of people, has been about getting out of that comfort zone. Just try something slightly new. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to commit to, I am going to build such and such a body. It's just do just that little bit more than what you're regularly used to doing.
Yeah.
I have been loving this challenge, and I know that I've gone out and done more walks and more movement than I would have if we didn't have the challenge going on. But it makes me so happy to be doing it, and just to be, really challenging my body and the sort of.
It's a celebration of what you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys saw my lame sit-ups the other day. Well, I did.
Well, actually, it's really funny because the thing is that afterwards, I had done sit-ups in the morning when Steve did his. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Steve already did his, so I got to do those. So I did 10 in the morning. And then when you did 15, I was like, oh, man. So I got to do 15 more. So I got down and I did 15 more. And I was like, you just did 25 sit-ups without really feeling them. And the next day I didn't really feel them. And I haven't done sit-ups in months. And I was like, you sad excuse of a body. Because if you can do 25 sit-ups without really feeling them, you could probably do 50 sit-ups and, kind of feel them. And the next day you might feel them.
I didn't see any videos, Beth, so it didn't happen.
Oh, okay. So I gotta go back into Nourish, and you want 25 sit-ups. Okay, awesome, absolutely. Eat my own words.
I'll live up to your own. Yeah, no, but I just think it's been so much fun, and seeing everybody else get involved and just sharing their comments and pictures and videos. It's just, what a great way.
And even seeing like Mariette saying, it's been 2 weeks of dancing every day. Yeah. And I was like, wow, cool. It's just, she was like, I'm up to 6 songs. That's a lot of dancing. That's almost 30 minutes. 6 songs of dancing, that's a lot of dancing, and it doesn't matter what kind of dancing you're doing. Even if you're just dancing around your living room, that's a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
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 So,
So
keep showing those videos and those pictures, otherwise it didn't happen.
All right.
Oh, well, I can't show my visualization when I'm sitting quiet and
Actually,
visualizing.
you can. That would be a fabulous video. Like explain what you're
actually,
doing
you
before.
should do a video of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Sandra. We want you to be sitting there visualizing yourself doing the sit-ups and telling us how they feel.
Yeah.
Oh, ow.
Yeah.
we wouldn't get very many physically done.
Yeah, but you are making progress in your mission to get fit using visualization, which is fascinating.
Actually, what I've really worked on is the strength in the shoulder and visualizing it not have any pain.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit of work this weekend, and it wasn't too bad actually. I got through it, and it was
Well,
really-
wait a minute. You did all the kitchen tiling work.
Yeah.
55 square feet of tiling that you put up.
Yep.
I would invite you to share a video with our Nourish members, because I'm sure there are some people who could really benefit from just the idea behind visualizing your healing or visualizing whatever it is.
The strengthening of that muscle or that leg, you know, I mean, like when you see Stuart Foster's video, you know, the interview I did with him about his recovery after his, it wasn't thrombosis, but basically it was up in his arm. But basically it was an aneurysm, and he, you know, he was just completely, he's like, some people from that are dead within a year and others have full recovery. I'm somewhere in the middle of that. But 2 years ago, he couldn't walk to the corner. He's now signed up for a half marathon.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of visualization work in getting to where he is. So yeah, pretty amazing. Well, we are over time as always. If you want to find us in the group Nourish, or obviously on our page Nourish to Flourish. And if you want to join in our 8-week program, then you need to sign up because we've only got 20 spots.
Yeah, and
And if you want to get
11 participants already, so it's filling up.
right.
Great.
Yeah. And if you want to get into Sandra's program, then you need to get in touch with Sandra about getting into her program and signing up for that. So thank you guys so much. And continue moving through March. You know, don't think you have to do a whole lot of exercise, but definitely moving outside of your comfort zone. So thank you guys, and see you all next week.
I'll see you in your video.